panel, a very important thing these guys prioritize in today's debate is the fact that objectivity is what we get only on the side of international organization. We go against it and we show you why, even beyond objectivity, the truth behind the tagging is one that is also very important in today's debate, and how you get this truth more from the side of states. Limiting this mandate to international organizations trumps the whole nature of truth. Bookie flags this in a point where she explains how proximity is a very important factor to ascertain the nature of groups before going into the level of tagging them, and also how the level of belief that we give to both parties. Now, Bookie tells you how this limits the right to self-determination on states. A state should be allowed to have a say in what happens in it and around it. Obviously, this is a thing that will support. These guys misconstrue this whole point totally when they talk about the whole nature of sovereignty and the likes. We say states should be sovereign, but also to the extent that it affects a cosmopolitan a cosmopolitan interest. Also, that is a valid ground to trump state sovereignty. But this is a point whereby cosmopolitan interest is not a thing that we trump totally when we allow states have a say in what happens in them. This is not just giving them a total final say. In the world we live in today, the role of international organization is to provide this check and balance to what a state says. To the extent that it affects what happens on a global scale, then obviously this check exists. In what we propose in today's panel, we do not trump the cosmopolitan interest. We do not affect this on any level. Bookie tells you how we get truth in proximity. The fact that you need to take a close study on groups before you can be able to determine its interest, its aims and objectives beyond what it necessarily puts out, beyond the actions that you see, is a very good tool. It's a very good plus for states. States have these things why international organizations do not. This is a very important point. Beyond objectivity, we show you in my deconstructing matter how their whole point on objectiveness is not one that stands. But this truth is a very important factor. These guys do not engage this on any level. Bookie tells you why international organizations are a bad actor. Bookie explains how the big brother role that exists. These guys miss something. I'll tackle this in my point in the construction. But I'll move this further on why international organization is bad. The fact that when states make wrong decisions, Lola acts like Tayo. This Tayo feels this work in their own side. When states tag people wrongly, there is a level of control that international organization has in the status quo on believing this and even on acting on people they have tagged wrongly. But when we limit this mandate to international organizations, there is a lack of control. There is nobody that controls the narrative that international organization puts out. There is a wider acceptance of what international organization says, and even when they put out a thing that is wrong, we say people tend to accept it without the required level of scrutiny. In the construction, these guys totally assume that different ideologies in international organizations is a chance for more objectivity. We say for shame to this. The nature of international organization in itself is that those in the upper part of the hierarchy are those that has a major say in what happens. So the fact that various ideology exists in it, it doesn't totally translate to objectivity, as this guy said. That is why you still see, even though a lot of countries say they do not accept this, that is why you still see mainstreaming of ideologies of only the superpowers, even though a lot of countries with diverse opinions, with diverse ideologies, politically and religiously exist in the UN. On the second level, we say states on the other on the other aspect of this would tend to be more objective, because states are those that act on its citizens, and states want to continue to maintain legitimacy. Legitimacy is a thing that is gotten from citizens. A state will not blindly act on a group of people in the society without being ready to face the scrutiny that other members of the state give them. This is a very big incentive on why states want to act objectively. Panel, the objectiveness that these guys really prioritize is a thing we win from our side. Because let's weigh the incentive that gives objectiveness on both sides. The fact that there is diversity of ideology does not translate to objectivity, as these guys bring closing.
Right. Are groups capable of fairly characterizing those who disagree with them?
Panel, when like a group exists and like going against their ideologies, any other group like can like tag them when you go against your ideology. But the objectivity in tagging this is important. We cannot say when a group takes the fact that you go against their ideology as a reason why you are tagged as extremist, it totally means like that type of tagging is wrong. It depends on the like situation of individual circumstances. We cannot just totally assume that because a state tags you to be extremist because you go against its opinion. If the fact that we do not have a moral habitat in the world we live in today to say this is the best type of ideology is the fact why no single ideology can be mainstream. International organizations in themselves are not even like legitimate to do this. Sit, guy. The fact that it reduces sympathy on a wider spectrum is what like I advance as a new point. Guys, sit, you are disturbing me. Wider acceptance is a thing that you get like without scrutiny. So international organizations have put themselves on a particular level where they are seen as this like best actor in majority of things. So when they say things, people tend to accept these things and recognize the fact that they are those that are connected to more countries than what a state can put out itself. So the wider audience that they have and we create wider acceptance, people do not tend to like go check more. Like compared to how people will scrutinize an action of a state. People do not tend to like scrutinize in their opinions what international organizations put out. This exposes a group that has been tagged to like a vast range of dangers, both internally. Recognize how those who exist within the states that these groups exist in will like victimize them if they accept this. And even people that do not like serve as like direct objects of the actions of this group will also like go against them. This is a higher level of danger that this that the proposition of these guys will make them face. Thirdly, a very important example is that when you saw like even when the states of when the state of Myanmar already like says like Rohingya Muslims are extremists, you do not see if you compare the level of like or if you compare the level of this harm faced versus when an international organization now comes to endorse this type of tagging. The level of harm these guys face will like be more grievous. Panel, recognize how like comparing both the level of scrutiny that the like tagging of both actors that will weigh in today's debate, the level of scrutiny that it faces is different. The actor that faces the higher level of scrutiny is the one that objectively makes like the more objective tagging. We are very, very proud to oppose.